kind of want to ignore all of that and focus on other things, you know, like share your tangos, spend your 3,000 gold, you know, like you could have.
Oh, I think I was saving for like
You're going greedy. I know what you're doing. You want this axe, but like you need to actually like okay, good players will first off not feed you like this, and second off, they won't let you get away with this. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Mr. Rip. Thanks for tuning in. So this week is a really long session. I considered cutting it up into 4 separate parts, but I thought it would kind of lose the cohesiveness of the overall lesson. So if you find it's a little bit too long, don't be scared to skip around and use the chapters or come back to the video later. I won't be offended. But anyway, it's mainly focused on reading the map and pushing out lanes and trying to predict what's going to happen next. So we have a replay review with Lion, a replay review with Snapfire, replay review with Ogre Magi, and part 3 of the video, I suppose, is looking at high MMR examples and how they're playing the map and trying to predict like what they're going to do next and trying to read their intentions. So if you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, all that stuff. Check me out on Twitch. I stream every weekday at Mr. Rip TV, and I hope to see you on there. And anyway, enjoy the video. Hope it's helpful. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Mr. Rip, and this is weekly coaching number 6 with King Louis, student number 2. And last week, the coaching was to focus on grabbing empty lanes as a sport to pick up farm and relieve lane pressure and to create lane pressure as well. So I want to see how that went over the last week, and hopefully we can find a replay where we're looking at that. All right, Louis, what was the MMR?
My MMR now. It's dropped a fair bit.
Oh, has it? Okay, that's all right.
I'm at 850.
850. Okay. What? Let's talk about that first. Why do you think that is? What's your diagnosis?
I kept playing like the same hero, like over and over to like see if I could like do it, and it just wasn't happening.
So let's see. So the last session was on the 5th. So since then, because you're playing like a buttload of Enchantress, right? It was just all Enchantress, and then you got bored of that, and then you're doing some off lane, some Hoodwink, Enchantress. You're playing Silencer. That looks like that wasn't working. Line worked. And you played Drow and Snapfire. So basically, you kind of got bored with playing one hero and bounced around.
No, I didn't get bored of it. It was just literally like I think I won like 1 game out of like 10 with that, and I was just like, yeah, this maybe not the like ideal play.
With
if that makes sense.
You mean?
Yeah, because like I kept getting like the safe lane. Like I reckon she's okay in maybe the off lane with like position 4.
Yeah.
But then I kept getting like safe lane, and it just wasn't working like in like the hard support like role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think for that one you're probably going to need to go about like a different skill order and a different item order as well. So like as a position 4, you're going to be getting to pick up more farm, and you're going to kind of turn into a semi-core with Enchantress. So you get to build Hurricane, Pike, and Treads and stuff like that. But as position 5, you should be farming less, theoretically. And also your job is more to just protect the carry. So you might opt for things like a Solar Crest or a Glimmer Cape instead of those items. You know what I mean? You might sit on brown boots a lot longer. You might have to go like arcane boots or something. Because your job in the game is completely different. So if you're trying to do it like I think a good example of like where that kind of pops up, like for me personally, if I play like Clockwork 4, it's really obvious, like, okay, here's my job, here's the items I'm going to go for. And then if I'm playing Clockwork 5, it's like, okay, I'm going to end up with maybe less levels, less items. I'm going to be dying in every single fight because of that. So I'm just going to end up super underleveled. So it's just harder to play like that type of a hero in that role.
Yeah.
Not that it's impossible, but also, you know, it doesn't really apply to Ench, but for other heroes, like they don't work as 5s as well because they don't actually have any direct supporting abilities. Ench does. Ench has a heal, right? But you know, if I put Clock 5, like how do I actually like buff a teammate or help him? Like all I can do is like throw my body in, or maybe like use cogs to block someone, right? I mean, the other part though, like specifically with Clockwork, is he's really good at dewarding because of his flare, so that is actually nice. But yeah, it can just be tough. You can't you might not be able to play the hero in the same way that you would always play it if you're switching roles.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, okay. So the last week we were talking about farming empty lanes, farm
Yeah.
towers. So did you get any practice on that?
Yeah, as I think like if you like you'll see like in the Ogre game or like in the thingy, I would more like or the lane the one I won. I did stay in like the lane and like try to like get farm and like I did like go around like as well.
Okay. So like,
Um
did you find you were picking up like more farm than normal in like the mid game?
yeah, so I had more farm. Like even though I was position 5 on those ones,
Yeah.
I still had like decent farm, like if that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Like
So did it feel good? Was it good?
yeah, it was better having more farm than like no farm.
Then less,
Like
yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Did you run into any issues with doing that? Like were people like flaming you, or
Um
you felt like you were out of position, or you get picked off a
in
lot?
the lion one, like I would if I went to like I would go to like a gank and they'd be like you'd be like bro like I was gonna get the kill anyway
Hmm.
and I was like sure but like I'm just here like you know it's like it's fine if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then
What
I was
about
like
relating
it's
to actually like farming? Like, did you have any issues with like farming the lanes?
so like obviously like I would sometimes I would like go there
Hmm.
and then they would be like, "Oh, this is my farm," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Yeah.
And then I'd like go somewhere else, but then like it's like sometime like I would get like pinged, like even though the person wasn't in the lane,
Yeah.
they kept pinging me saying like, "Ah, like I'm gonna finish this farm fast and I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
Don't take
Okay.
it."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, "Okay," but like it's like 3 or 4 creeps have been like missed if that makes sense now, and it's like I could have got that if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very funny, actually, because I find it's actually really helpful if the cores tell me where they want to farm. Like, if they're farming the triangle and then they ping like I'm on the way
Yeah,
to top lane. I'll be like, all right,
yeah,
cool. Like I know you're gonna go here. I'm not gonna clear the whole wave before you get here. But I think if
yeah,
they're pinging you for last hitting when they're not even there to get it, you can completely
yeah.
ignore it. Just
Oh,
completely
okay.
ignore that. That's dumb. That's them having the idea like supports don't farm. That's wrong, and they're wrong. Supports do farm. So
Okay.
it's just the trick is, and we'll look at a replay for this, but the trick is to not be stealing farm that they could have gotten. That's all.
Yeah.
So, if you're like rolling up in the lane as like support Lena and just double blasting all the waves before they can even get there, that is a little bit griefing. But like if they're not even there, go ahead and last it. It's fine. Anyway,
Yeah.
which replay did you want to look at? I want to focus on that specific topic so we can have some like
I think I did it in the lion or the ogre one. Because I feel I was winning those ones. So I think I did was
Okay.
pretty greedy in those ones.
All right, let's start with the lion win then and see how that goes. I'm just gonna look real quick. Your net worth, okay. Third net worth, dope. 19 and 2, so you played really well. 59 last hits. Do you feel like this is more than normal for you?
Um, it's like that one I was more killing, but I did go to like the lanes like a lot the other time, but like a lot like to other lanes. Um, I think that a lot of the time I was like, oh, I think that I was trying to like last hit a bit, and then like I just at one point I just stopped last hit and I just like focused more on like just killing people at that point because I was like, oh, I'll leave it then.
Okay. All right. Any relevant timestamps that we should skip to? Because it's going to be focused more on like the mid game. So if you can remember points
It
in the
was
game where that came
it
up.
was like after like maybe like the third or like fourth kill, 'cause, like in lane.
Okay.
Like I think it was like that's when like we stopped like laning so much.
All right. Do you remember roughly time in the game?
Maybe like 8 minutes in.
Okay. Look at KDA. I'll just look at that. So you guys are like 2 right now. Kind of see where the lane phase ends, and then we can start looking at Roman. Gonna probably end up laning a lot more than normal. Let me turn my volume down. That's pretty loud. By the way, I think last time you were extremely loud in the recording, so I think I need to turn you down a little bit. Go ahead and say something for me.
Hello?
Yeah, that's too quiet. I can't really hear you. How about that? It might just be like my mic's too quiet relative. We'll see if that works. I turned you down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not your fault. It was just like I had to like balance the audio and stuff like that because it was like blowing my ears out. I don't know what happened with it. Still laning, still laning.
Yeah, because I think like CM helped a bit, and then I think we moved around more after.
Okay. Where's the end of the lane? Oh my god, you're here for so long. It's crazy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Like when does the lane end stage like then lane end like in like your like lobbies?
Oh god. Honestly, I might be roaming to different lanes at like 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Like it depends. It depends on the type of hero, and it also depends on like literally what's going on. So
Yeah.
an example might be, you know, like we're sitting here, it's like 2 minutes into the game or something like, or maybe I'm like level 3 or something, and I see that they're like diving my mid. I'm like, fuck, I gotta leave you, and I'll TP away, right? And then I'll usually go back to the lane, but honestly, so like what you can do is, what's the level? This Legion's level 5, and Muerta's level 6. So like, let me show you something real quick. So what you actually want to look for is any time when they didn't actually need you here at all. Like, I don't know where the hell Muerta is. Muerta's here right now? Alright, so this is an example. Like, Super Minor, she didn't need you. Like, she didn't need you or CM to be here right now. So, and why is that? Because the wave's here, and Legion's not even here. So, like, this could be an instance where if we went back to, say, like, here, okay, Muerta's dead, so we're gonna sit here and farm, because why not? And we'll stay here until she comes back, because, you know, it's just missed farm otherwise. Okay, she's coming back. You can start walking away right now. You can be like, boop, I'm out. And it'd be nice if we could get here for this 6-minute rune, but like this is the type of thing you could do. Like right now, you could like pop your tangos, and you could like go through the gate, and you could go top, and you can go kill this hoodwink. Or, you know, like if you could leave and go for the rune and see if maybe nobody's picked it up yet. But like Muerta doesn't need you right now. Nothing's threatening her. So you're just sharing XP with her. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, thinking like
go ahead.
I was thinking maybe because if they use the rocket and like because it'll stun her and then Elsie will duel her.
Well, okay, that's a fair thing to worry about, but also Legion is level 4. She doesn't have duel yet.
Oh, okay.
And rocket is very telegraphed. So if this Muerta is paying attention, she should never die to that. She'd be like, oh, he's throwing a rocket at me. Back up under tower. Now, if she's consistently getting zoned by Gyrocopter, then yeah, you might need to come back and help her, or you might need to pull for her before you leave. Like, basically right now, this is a real simple thing. The wave is pushing, okay? She has nothing to do. You should be pulling right now. Pulling or stacking. Then what that allows you to do is you pull this, and then she's safe because the creeps are here, and now you get to roam. We're getting a little bit off track, but I just wanted to kind of point out, like, because you asked me, like, when does a lane phase normally end? It ends, like, basically, it ends a lot earlier because the supports are setting the cores up to be safe, and the cores know how to play safe on their own. And so the supports get to leave and go do things. They don't have to sit here and just share XP.
Okay.
So I want to see when you actually do start roaming. I mean, it's going to happen in lower ranked games. This is also, by the way, if you saw right there, that's why you don't have to be worried about Muerta. Like, he just shot the rocket and she's fine. You know?
Okay.
I would say, though, that you don't need this regen. You can give this regen to her. Give her some tangos and pass her this Lotus, because she's almost out, and you have Tranquil Boots. So at this stage, like, start sharing your tangos. You got 6 now, so, like, You know, if you had a smoke and some sentries, like, we would be wanting to roam right now and go use this ult. And we got to use it anyway, because they're crazy. You know, throw her a tango. Share the tangos! And you can walk away.
I'm gonna give her one.
I mean, you know what, if it's a game is like this and they just keep coming back and they keep dying, then you might as well farm them. But, so, I'm not even gonna say this is wrong, it's just that, like, this is not usually what you'd be looking to do. You'd want to be roaming a lot. This Legion 0 and 5, Jesus. You see how you're out-leveling Muerta? Like, we normally don't want that. So all these kills are great and everything, but like I kind of want to ignore all of that and focus on other things. You know, like share your tangos, spend your 3,000 gold. You know, like you could have.
Oh, I think I was saving for like
You're going greedy. I know what you're doing. You want this axe, but like you need to actually like okay, good players will first off not feed you like this, and second off they won't let you get away with this. Like they will go spend their gold and make moves with it, and you'll be like, I have tranquil boots, I'm slow as shit. So like you want this to be items, you know, force staff, glimmer, blink, whatever the hell it is. This is just super greedy. But I think this is a little bit of an exception because they just come back and they keep feeding you, and you've been here for 12 minutes and you're winning the game by doing this, but it's more like they're throwing the game. So
yeah.
All right.
I think it's the Lion game I lost, but I moved in.
Okay. That's another TP, so like this is a little bit autopilot right here. So when you TP back here immediately,
I think this time was just there's no one here, so I was like I could get the farm.
Yeah, but look at what's happening. So like AM and Muerta are fighting in middle right now. And the 14-minute rune just spawned, and this 14-minute rune just spawned. So like I would not TP here. If I see this happening right when I'm about to TP, I'm TPing here to go help with this. And then I'm going to go control the runes. And then if still no one is here, then I might walk here. But this is usually where I just tell my team, like, hey, somebody farm bot. Go farm bot, like empty lane, right? But
so if it's empty, I shouldn't go for it, or get someone else to go for it.
No, so it's not 100% one way or the other. The trick to this, like, when are you allowed to TP to empty lanes and go farm them, is when there is nothing else to do. Or when that tower is gonna die because it has a catapult, you know, like you go in and you save the tower, like that's fine. But usually the reason you're TPing to farm is because there's nothing else to do. Nobody's under threat. There's no river runes to grab. There's no wisdom runes to grab. There's no stacks to be made. You know what I mean? There's just nothing. It's like, okay, I'll go farm. Because in general, what you should be doing as a support is like your job in the early, like the first like 20 minutes of the game is to be involved in all the kills. Like ideally, that's what we want. We want you to be in every single kill that happens because your spells are strong early, right? So you run around, go use them.
So I want to be making them.
Yeah, you want to be getting involved. The way this CM is playing, if you notice how much this CM is roaming around, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like let's just like I'm kind of impressed actually, like how much the CM is roaming around. I just want to watch it from her perspective a little bit so you can get an idea. The CM started top, and we're just gonna like put her on follow cam. This is all laning. This is whatever. We don't care about this. We want to see when she starts leading, right?
I think she came around like the 6-minute time.
Yeah, it seems like.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Alright, she rotated bottom. She saw a kill was happening, she rotated bottom. And actually what we can do is we can watch it from her perspective. Player view. So this is CM. So what was CM thinking about? You know, obviously there's lots of like minor mistakes she's making. you know, like ward placement and things like that. But she sees this happening, she's like, fuck it, I'm TPing. I'm gonna go help. That's what we want, right? We want to be playing more like this CM. You know, it's only 5 minutes. It's super early.
Okay.
And then what does she do? Okay, she checks the Legion. Okay, maybe there's more that can be had, so she's sticking around, trying to get inside the mind of her. Okay, nothing's happening. What does she do? She leaves. Okay, I'll go do something else. Maybe mid needs help next. Maybe that's the next place. Now, this is a little bit of a... You can tell it's maybe not 100% premeditated. It's a little bit of just like... She's looking for any action there is.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, maybe we can kill. All right, go for it. Okay, that she's been involved. She's roamed twice now and gotten 2 kills. Okay, all right, go back to top. What's Budge doing? Maybe we can get a kill here. Yep,
Okay.
3 kills. You see how this CM is playing? Like, this is what we want. This is freaking awesome. Like, this CM is like carrying this early game right now by doing this. And she doesn't stick around. She's like, oh shit, okay, back to mid. What's happening here? A little bit weird ward placement there. Not great, but whatever. Okay, nothing's happening mid. She just roams. She's just running around looking for things. It's not like planned at all, because she's not buying smokes or anything like that. She's just walking around looking to see if things will happen. So we'd want it to be a little bit more planned.
Okay.
But like basically every single time, except for that one time in mid right there where she double warded, every single time she showed up in a lane, it has resulted in the enemy team dying, which is great, you know. So that's kind of getting the idea here.
Yeah, just keep roaming.
Keep roaming, but it's because you're trying to make stuff happen, and maybe there's you don't actually need to be standing in the lane. That's the other part of it. It's not easy to learn, but it's, you know, this is why you just got to practice it and you got to figure it out.
So like maybe like go somewhere with like more of like a stun, like
kind of any hero. I mean, some heroes are better at it than others. Obviously, CM is great. Look, she just killed the AM.
yeah.
You know, CC is going to enable kills. CC and nukes will enable kills. But it doesn't mean you can't roam on Enchantress, you know, or frickin', I don't know, Abaddon, right? Like, you don't have to have hard lockdown to do it. Sometimes just you being there as well, contributing whatever spells you do have is enough.
Okay.
But yeah, this is what we want to be doing. More or less. We want it to be a little bit more planned, you know, like she should be using smokes, and she should be thinking about, like, where do I need a sentry so they won't see my rotations, you know? But conversely, you've just kind of been down here the entire time farming them. So I guess they're coming to you, so that's great, but...
Normally they wouldn't.
Yeah, normally they wouldn't. We shouldn't expect them to either. Here, so this is a good TP because the tower's under threat, right? Let's go fix this up. Okay, that's fine. I said even if you died there, it's kind of okay because you're defending the tower, right? So you kept the tower alive. And then another thing is, if you're going to play like this, you're going to be in this area for so long, like, you need to have vision control. So, like, you need to be centering that mountain, making sure they can't see you, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. But hey, 18-minute ag center, crazy. And hanging around while they're pushing a tower, that's fine, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, maybe the sniper sits there a little bit too long and they go on him, and then you're there to help him. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Great, cool. Yeah, now we start roaming. And now, ideally, what would be happening... So lane structure has now broken down. So you guys have taken 3 towers. Lane phase is over. So what should be happening now? Like, what do you think it should look like ideally? What should your team be doing?
Like maybe the cores being the like jungle and me and CM and maybe the offlaner look for like a pick on someone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's all it should be. It should just be Sniper and Huerta are kind of farming because those are farmy heroes. They're not really playmaking heroes. And you, Pudge, and CM with your super murder spells go around murdering people, basically. And Pudge should be farming as well, but you should be like near him in case, you know, things happen like this. Like this is good. We want this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Pudge just kept getting really annoyed that I was near him. It's like go somewhere else where we're not, if that makes sense.
Well, the Pudge is silly then, and you should ignore that because that's basically, so if your mid is like a Void Spirit and you have like, let's say a Necrophos off lane, then you would go play with your Void Spirit because the Void Spirit's the one that's going to jump people and make plays, right? If your offlaner is more active, he's like a Blink hero or someone with a stun or whatever, like a Mars maybe. Like maybe you have Sniper mid and you have Mars offlane. Who should you go play with? The Mars, right? Because the Mars is the one that's going to go set up kills. Sniper just wants to kind of farm and maybe pick people off every now and then. So Pudge is your active hero there. Like you have a Sniper mid, that's not active. You have Muerta safe lane, that's not active. Pudge is the active hero, you go play with the Pudge. And if the Pudge complains about it, then he's a dingus. But basically, like, you should do it anyway, and then it's kind of up to you to judge whether or not him tilting out is more detrimental to winning the game or not.
Okay.
Like, sometimes you do the correct thing and it makes people tilt out, and then that actually makes you lose the game. But I would say, in general, you should just opt for doing the correct thing. The correct thing is for you and CM to be playing with Pudge and looking for kills and having your TP scrolls ready to react in case they like smoke onto Sniper or something like that. That's what you should be doing. So you should do that.
Okay.
If he's got a problem with it, like whatever, we don't care. Awesome.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think I did try to stay with the CM a bit.
Bottom tower is under attack.
You were doing it earlier, but now now we're just kind of camping in middle a little bit. That's good. Falling Pudge.
Is under attack.
Okay, cool. Cool, we like it. Oh my god, you're gonna get so many finger kills.
Structures are fortified.
So actually, this is a little bit more of an advanced concept, but at this point in the game, you're actually the position 2. You are, because you have the highest damage output, you're hyper fed, and you're the highest level on your team. Like, you've actually become the position 2 here. So, if you were playing in Immortal, they'd be like, oh, Lion's going to carry us. And then you would actually just start building, like, whatever the hell you need, you know, like Kaya and BKB and fuck it, Scythe of Ice or Refresher, I don't know. Whatever the hell a core Lion builds. That's actually what you would start doing at this point because you're already so far ahead. That's not going to work in this bracket. In this bracket, they're going to be like, Lion's supposed to be the support. Where are my wards? And they will freak the hell out. So what I find is I tend to do a mix of both. Where if I get super fed as a support, I'll keep warding, but I'm also going to keep... I'll like itemize to be more like a core, but I won't ignore the warding. In other games, that can be kind of a throw, and even though you're fed, you still need to buy that Glimmer Cape and that Force Staff and whatever. You still got to do that, but I think in this type of a game, like, you doing this is, like, pretty good, because, you know, look how much damage your finger is doing, like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like, I think I get, like, 900 something from, like, the bonus damage, and then it's like... And then when I get level 20, because it gives me, like, health each time as well, it's, like, an extra, like... 21, like almost like an extra 2,000 health HP.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like when Lion gets super fed. It's fun. And actually, at this stage of the game, you have so much burst potential. You don't need teammates to do anything. Like, you can just freaking solo kill people, more or less.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not easy for you to do against an AM, but I'd say in this game you should also buy your shard. If your team's not going to do Tormentor, you should do shard.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I was like, oh, should I get it for like the immunity?
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I don't need it for that. But then I just said I might need it for like the mana regen, because like I find that was the most like hard thing, just having mana.
Yeah. It solves all mana problems forever. But additionally, what's really nice about it is that it just makes you immune to like Gyro Rocket, AM's mana drain. You're just immune to it. So it's pretty nice. I mean, you're not immune. You take a little bit of damage still, but you're not going to get stunned by those things or lose all your mana.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah, you should buy it. It could be really disruptive too, especially if people aren't used to playing against it. You just drain their whole team. It's also nice against illusions, because Lion is an anti-illusion hero, and this AM's going to buy Manta style. So you can just insta-kill his illusions.
Do you know, like, because I was like fed, was this itemization okay? Like,
yeah, just like I was saying, you would want the shard. I think the Kaya Sand is fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to go like Hyper Giga Chad Lion, you go Aghanim Scepter, and then you go E-Blade, and then even buy a freaking Dagon. Why not? Screw it. You don't really need Scythe of Ice, although that's good too, because you already have Hex. You don't really need BKB because you have your Shard. So, you know, maybe like Octarine Core could be a good pickup. Like Blink, obviously, you want Blink. You want Ags for this type of like core Lion. Octarine Core can be good. E-Blade can be good. In some games, BKB can be good, but they actually don't have a lot of disable, and the Shard kind of fixes that problem anyway. If you wanted to be more, if you wanted to stay in the support lane, what items do you guys think you guys need this? Or what items do you think your team needs this game?
Like a 4-star?
It's okay, yeah.
To get away from like the AM and like the Legion when she maybe like, I don't know if she had a BKB like at the start, but if she didn't, I mean she had to be at the start. I don't think she had a BKB early, but I know later she did. But at the start, maybe like a Yule's, like if she
When she duels, cancel it. Yeah.
But then
that makes sense. Duels or Halberd would be good options here. What else?
And I know late game you can use your own players, so like you could just do it to them.
Yeah.
If you get the Waker thing.
True. Yeah, totally. Like Yules does that. Halberd helps with duel. Even if you want it, you can't buy a Lotus Orb. That doesn't work against Legion, but you could buy a Lincoln's for your team. You could buy an Aeon Disc to help yourself, so you can play a little bit more ham. I still think Blink is good because that's just the type of hero Lion is.
Yeah.
I don't know what else would be good options here.
Solar Crest maybe.
Solar Crest, yeah. Lion is also, he's not really that type of hero, but Solar Crest is just always a good item to get.
It's Vessel maybe.
Vessel's not great because you have to assume AM's going to go Manta, so that's a Dispel, and Legion Commander has a Dispel. Otherwise, it would be good against Legion and Dazzle, but because of the Dispels, it's not great.
Maybe E-Blade, so like if they do jump, I can E-Blade my team.
Yeah, I think E-Blade is kind of like a super solid item in this position because it saves people from duel, or you just use it to kill people. So it's a double use item. It's a little bit buying a Yules on Jakiro. It's like, okay, I can save myself, or I can disrupt someone in the fight, or I can set up my stun with my own Yules. So it's like accomplishing like two things at once. So it's a really value item, right?
Yeah.
You want to be looking for items that have multiple benefits to them.
Do you know when you get if you was to get philanthropy, would that work on like each person if I had shard?
No, it doesn't, because it's not you have to target them directly. But phylactery is not a bad item. I think phylactery could be like a good, like if maybe you're a mid-line.
Would it work on the main person I target then?
It should. You might have to test it. I've never tried it before, but it should because it's a unit target spell.
Okay.
So I don't see why it wouldn't. But you could go ahead and test that. But yeah, I don't know. Lion's a bit of a funny one. He's a bit of a weird hero to itemize for. But, you know, Ags is fine. I just think like maybe like Shard, E-Blade are pretty good. Even like Pavis can be nice early on.
Yeah.
If you know, I mean, you don't need mana regen because, you know, you're Lion, but like in games where there are lots of like mana mana problems because there's an AM or like a diffusal blade or something like that. Picking up arcane boots for your team can be good. Boots and bearing is always just a good item. Solar Crest is always just a good item. Vlad's is okay, you know, like you can't really go wrong. But basically there's like two paths to go down, right? So the one is you get so fed that you just turn into another core. That's the first option. The other option is you get super fed, so then you just become a really fed support and you get all the support items. And then you've got a support that has like Greaves and Solar Crest and a Lotus Orb and an Aeon Disc and a Scythe of Ice. It's like all those are support items. But like Jesus, you have all of them, right? So you just have like a ton of tools to use. Yeah.
Do you ever want to go like Siphon on Lion if you got Hex on?
I think I would avoid it in general unless my team literally had no lockdown at all and there were perhaps multiple heroes that needed to be hexed. So if I was playing against like, you know, frickin' AM and Weaver and PA and Ricky, like yeah, maybe, and that my team has no stuns at all, like maybe picking up a Scythe can be good there. But in general, no. You just don't need it on heroes like Lion because he literally already has the spell. It's a bit redundant. It's very expensive for purchasing a spell that you already have. More or less. So you would want to be adding more to your toolkit. That's kind of a big difference between the way cores and supports itemize. Is cores are going to itemize to kind of like buff up what they already do, right? They're going to add attack speed and damage and defense so that they can do more damage and survive more damage. Supports are going to typically itemize to pick up additional spells. You know, you're going to be like Glimmercape, Force Staff, Yules, Orchid, Scythe. These are spells that you're adding to your kit. And for heroes that either don't have very good spells, you know, like, or that's not a good example. For heroes that have like really good spells but have kind of like mana problems, that's where you might want to go for like an Octarine core. Because it's like, okay, I'm fixing my mana problems and I'm getting to use my more powerful spells more often. So like in this type of a game, going like Blink, Ags, Octarine core, you're super high tempo. Like that'd be really good. You don't really need a refresher orb, but you could eventually think about that down the line. But yeah, obviously Aether Lens is always helpful as well if you're a casting hero. So there's a million options.
Should you go for like Aether Lens or like the Octarine?
It just depends on where you are in the game. So if you have Blink heroes, then in some ways cast range is less important because you're going to be blinking on top of them anyway. And in other ways, it's still helpful to have both of them because now you can blink farther. But in general, I think you're kind of going one or the other. You're either like a blink hero or you're like a save hero. So a hero like Dazzle, if he's being played, like Dazzle, Oracle, you know, whatever. Heroes that need to sit back and save people, usually going to go for cast range. Heroes that are going to be initiating, you're going to go for the blink dagger. You usually don't need both. And if you do, the game is very weird. Yeah, so I would pick one or the other. And you really don't kind of need an Aether Lens on Lion specifically because like he already has mana regen. Any item at all that gives you mana regen is just not that valuable on Lion because you could always just buy your shard and instantly refill your mana, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's just a weird hero to itemize for, basically. But okay. So we're at 37 minutes now. I think we kind of covered the topic watching how CM was playing, but we didn't cover the topic in terms of farming. Do you have another replay you want to look at real quick?
Maybe the Lion game I lost or the Ogre match I won.
Sure. I mean, do you remember one of these very specifically, like you were trying to farm lanes more?
I know I tried to go for more the on the Lion ones. I tried to get the purple thing.
No, I don't mean the Wisdom Brew. I mean like literally like you were going to lanes to farm when no one was there. Like that exact scenario.
I think I did that with the Snapfire, but like it was like really it was like really weird on that one.
What was weird about it?
It was like really like good at the start, and then it was like we had to start grouping because like they started grouping very early, if that makes sense.
Okay, that can actually be a good opportunity. So maybe we can find some opportunities where you could have done it, because that is a common trap, is that both teams just start 5-manning and a lot of farm gets left untaken. A lot of lanes get left unpushed. So that can be a good opportunity for this type of thing. It's actually harder to do this when your team is splitting the map efficiently. You have less chances to do it. So I'm gonna try and identify where the hell the lane phase is actually ending, so we can look for it. Like mid tower's gone down. Soldiers fighting up here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower
Okay.
is
So when you're respawning here, this is a potential place where you start looking around, right? Why do you think I'm saying that?
Because like I've come back and he's okay,
Yeah,
and I could.
right, exactly. He's pretty much fine. So you could be starting to look at other places, like, you know, hey, what's going on bottom? Maybe there's something here, or what's going to happen with my Windrunner? I mean, is it safe to predict that they might come and try and kill this Windrunner at some point?
Yeah, but no, because I thought the Magnus TP top, and
Sure.
the thing is the two were low, so the only person they would go maybe is the bot person, and I feel like you could just run away from them, or the person would say, "Oh, they're missing."
Yeah. So in this instance, I think what I would do is I would walk to middle. Because I don't know if this CK is going to get... I mean, maybe they're going to dive him, you know? Because I don't see where Pudge is, right? They were just in this area. They just fought us. Maybe they're going to look for more. So I would probably walk to middle, because it looks like Windrunner is either going to get ganked soon and die, or she's going to have to go back to base anyway, and that means this lane's going to be empty, right?
Yeah.
Basically, she's the weakest link right now. CK's under tower, Ursa and Darkseer are under tower, and they could go jungle if they wanted to. Not like it's efficient, but they don't have to sit here, you know? Windrunner's out on the map. She's the closest to death. So, like, this is where you move to, but she's not under immediate danger, so you don't have to TP. So this would be, okay, I walk mid. I don't know what's going to happen with Windrunner, but maybe I get to farm this lane when she's not here, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
middle tower has fallen.
It's kind of looking for wherever you're going to have the highest impact. Like, where can I move to? Where am I needed? So you TP back to top. And now, this is fine because you're coming out here, you know, you're trying to help him. But, like, if you TP here, now you can't react. So, like, let's say the Windrunner dies in middle, and then Magnus pushes this tower, into your tower. Like, how do you respond? You can't do it anymore. You now have to walk, right? Or maybe there's a big fight down here. You can't react to it because you TP'd here. And
But we should always walk to lanes.
it's not always walk the lanes. It's have your TP ready in case there's an emergency. But if there's an emergency, go ahead and TP. Also,
How do I know not to, like, how do I know, like, at the start when I come back, should I ever TP to a lane?
yes. So let's see. So let's say it's super early on, right? So let's go way back. So in this period right now, it's like 2 minutes 30 seconds, right? This is the pre-roaming period. Everybody's very weak. They're only level 2, right? Basically, there's very few heroes in the game that can reliably lane 1v2 when they're level 2, right? It's just not gonna, it doesn't work. And that goes pretty much up till like level 5, I would say. I'm super blanket statements, right? So let's say you died right here. Boom. Like Pudge just hooks you and does 1 million damage and kills you. Okay, CK's now in a 1v2. He can't lane that efficiently. That's very bad for him, right? So then you would respawn and you would look at it and be like, okay, is there an emergency happening in mid? No. Okay, is there an emergency here? No. But this guy can't do anything until I'm back here. So the longer I take to get back here, the less farm and XP he's getting. So I need to get back here ASAP. So then you just TP, right?
Okay.
But then let's say it's, let's get way out here. Let's say it's 11 minutes into the game, like this exact TP you did. Let's see if we can find another example. Like, let's see. This is kind of weird because your team's in all different locations at once. Okay. This Darkseer is a little bit of an example here.
Dyer's middle tower
Like,
is under attack.
he's farming the empty lane, right? So you guys are pushing racks right now. It's a bit weird. This is kind of taking priority. But like, just pretend you weren't pushing the racks. Like, this lane is not being farmed. This Darkseer support is farming this lane. So like, someone should be up here, right? So if none of your cores walk up here, then you can go do this. And I don't know. I feel like I'm not really answering your question. Let's see. Let's try like 7 minutes. Let's look at what's happening 7 minutes.
My mind grows stronger with every...
Okay, Ursa's dead. What are you doing? You're chilling here with him. You don't have your TP. Probably want to replace this relatively soon, just in case. And also, Wisdom Rune, again. Don't forget, Wisdom Rune, 7 minutes.
Every coin.
Like, basically, let me just back this up. So when you TP'd here...
Dyer's middle
I can't even remember when you TP'd here. Was it before or after this?
After.
Okay, alright, yeah, this is it. Okay, so you died here, and then CK's in the 1v2, and then CK dies. Alright. Okay, so this is a good opportunity. So the core is dead. Look around. What's happening? Oh, is Magnus about to dive my team? Like, should probably respond to this. Hey, Magnus with level 6 and a haste rune. Can you see okay? Is it working? Because I'm getting dropped frames in Streamlabs.
I was watching it on the thing, but like I went back to the thing because it was like the time. It was like blurry, but it was like weird.
Blurry in Discord.
Yeah. So
Okay.
then I went like.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on right now. I'm having issues with Streamlabs where it just keeps dropping frames and stuff. What the fuck is this? Sorry, 1 second. I don't know. It just does this sometimes. I probably need to restart it. Anyway, so CK's dead, right? Windrunner doesn't need you. These guys are getting dove by the mid. So these guys need you. TP here. Help him. And then you can maybe turn this around. Because your hero, like if you have Cookie, you can potentially save people and your spells are powerful. Like these two spells are very powerful, right? So I would TP here and help out against this Magnus. Okay, they did it on their own. But this is an example where you're TPing you're TPing back to farm, which is good, but something is happening right now that's relevant. You're getting dove by a Magnus, like right now. This is the more important thing. So basically what you should do is you should opt to, if you're playing support, you should opt to interact with heroes more than anything else. Are heroes killing each other? Okay, I should go and help. Right? If they're not doing that, and it doesn't look like they're going to need you, then you can like TP back and go do that type of thing. It's also a little bit of trying to plan around people's spells. So, let's say this Magnus is a good example, right? Magnus just used his ult. So what does that tell you? Magnus is probably not going to be looking to fight anybody for a little bit. Because without his ultimate, it's kind of hard to actually reliably kill people, right? So if I were the dire supports, I would not be looking to play around this Magnus. So if I was next to this Magnus and he TP'd back here, I would look to like leave. I'd be like, all right, no action is going to happen around Magnus. So where's the action going to happen? Maybe it's going to happen down here. I'm going to make my way down here, or I'm going to TP down here. Is that kind of making sense?
Predict what the enemy's going to do next.
It's predicting. It's more predicting like Yes, that is true. You should predict what the enemy team is doing, but you're also predicting what your team wants to do. So like,
Okay.
let's say you're all grouped up and you 5-man a tower and everybody spends their ults and then you win the fight and you get the tower, right? But you're too low to keep pushing. You should split
Yeah.
up. That's when you can TP away and you'd be like, all right, cool, we did it. We're done fighting. I'm going to go TP to an empty lane and push it out because we're not looking to fight anymore, which means they shouldn't need me. You know, my Faceless Void doesn't have Chronosphere. Okay, he doesn't need me. He just wants to go farm. I don't have to be sitting next to him. So I'm going to go farm now. Right?
What happens if they're fighting without spells? Like they're big spells a lot.
Then you need to gauge it very carefully whether it's worth you wasting your time going over there, because there's a difference, right? So if this, like, let's take this Magnus for example. I have no idea what he's going to do because I haven't watched it, but like if Magnus decides now's the time to go chase this Windrunner under tower, that's silly,
Yeah.
right? That's wrong. He shouldn't be doing that. He needs to TP here to try and save this because the tower's about to die and the catapult's right there, right? So maybe he wants to come here and like shockwave it and save the tower. But that's where it should end. If he keeps going, that's a misplay. And so, in general, we should not be looking to reinforce misplays. If somebody is doing something very silly that looks wrong, you know, or you can think about it, and the answer comes out to like, that's dumb. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
Don't like try really hard not to just do what they're doing, right?
Okay.
You should try to do the correct thing, and then just be aware that most people in your games are not going to be doing the correct thing, yourself included. You guys are all going to be misplaying all over the place, right? So and what is correct changes as you get like better and better and better because you have more and more information to add to that equation. So you just need to be ready for your games to be weird, but you should be looking to do the optimal thing all the time. But sometimes you get pulled away from that, and sometimes you have to, like, you know, adjust. But I would say, in general, the only time you should really be adjusting and, like, changing what you want to do because, like, someone did something silly is if you, like, you could TP in and save them, and then it wouldn't result in you dying, and you're pretty confident that that's what would happen, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't reinforce dumb plays. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's also not purely a decision-making thing, but sometimes maybe you just don't have all the information. You know, maybe, you know, this Magnus knows his hero really freaking well, and he knows, like, oh, I have level 2 Shockwave and Skewer, like, I can kill this type of hero right now. So he's not actually misplaying, he just knows his limits a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you also do need to try and, like, gauge for yourself, like, is this hero going to fight right now, you know?
Yeah, like, is it the best time to use it?
Yeah, are we going to be bothering with this right now? Real quick, what I want to do is kind of like, hopefully this will be helpful, but I want to just pull up like a high MMR game, and maybe you can get an idea there. So, Jesus Christ, everyone just plays cores. Gyro is getting played as a support. Hopefully this is a support. Yeah, that's a support gyro. Okay, so this is what's happening right now. Okay, we're 24 minutes into the game. Radiant's doing Roche right now. Okay, so that's fine. What do you think is going to happen after that? What do you see on the map? Like the lane condition? Maybe are there runes that are going to spawn soon? You know, are there heroes that look like they're out of position that could be picked off? Like, we're not thinking about item timings at all right now, but that would be part of it as well. But like, what happens after this Roche?
They group together and go somewhere as a group.
Maybe they don't. Maybe the more efficient play is it's actually too early to start deathballing, and we don't need to send 5 heroes at this tier 1 tower, right? But yeah, probably. I mean, probably in your bracket, that's exactly what would happen. Is all 5 heroes are in one place on the map. We take Roche. Now we go push down a lane. That's probably what would happen. So you're right.
Yeah.
For your games, right? Let's see what happens here. Because I bet you they will split up now. or they won't be playing in this area. Let's see what they do. Okay, they kind of started another fight. Alright, this looks a bit derp. They kind of won, but it looks a bit derp. Okay, so why did that happen? So who was not on the same page here? Look at how the team is moving. So Primal's down here, Gyro's down here, all the heroes are invisible, of course.
Offlaner wasn't.
Yeah, look, like Gyro is farming a camp right now.
Yeah.
Primal's clearing this wave, Grimstroke clearing the wave. What's SF doing? SF's just fighting a camp. The only person that walks up here is the Riki. He just walks right into where the enemy team would be coming from. Because the enemy team is responding, they were just too slow to do it in time. So,
Yeah.
So notice how they're all walking away from the dangerous area to go farm. And he's the one who's like, I want to farm in this direction. Not thinking about it at all. Just walks right into the enemy team.
He should have just went away.
Yeah, he should have just went away. But now, if you look at this, you could just let the Riki die here, because this is Riki making a mistake, but instead they're responding to Riki making this silly play. And I would say this is a silly play, right?
Okay.
Because there's just no reason to do this right now. You don't have any information. Can I put the fog on? This influences the decision as well. So we're going to put it on fog radiant, right? Okay. So look at what they can see while they're doing Roche.
You see, like, they're going there.
Yeah, just watch the mini-map. So you see Life Stealers in the area. He's just kind of farming. You know Treant's dead. You have no idea where this Mars is. You don't know where Invoker is. You don't know where Lesh is. But, hey, they know you're here because you just did Roche, right? And so, because they have basically no information, they don't know where any of the, like, the fighty heroes are, like the Mars and, you know, with a Blink and the Lesh and Invoker and all that stuff. They don't know where these heroes are. That's why they're not just walking at the tower right now. All they see is a Lifestealer who's just kind of farming in a, not a dangerous spot, but he's kind of the only one that you can see, and the only reason you can see him is a jungle ward. So effectively, from the enemy team's perspective, the entire enemy team is playing off map. So that means you have no information. That means you shouldn't go run up a lane because they might be setting up an ambush on you, right? Even though you have Aegis. So their gut reaction is to not go up, it's to go to the left. It's to walk back to safety, walk back to high ground, walk back to our side of the map to kind of reset because you have no information. So that's, you seeing that? Hello? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Are you seeing that? How they're doing that movement?
Yeah. It's like they're going in grouped.
Right. So this is a reset movement. We're backing together, and now we're going to start farming because we don't see the enemy team. Okay, we see them on a ward, and this is just pushing it a little bit too far. So this Riki is going, and this Grimstroke is reinforcing him by doing Inkswell on him right away. Like, Gyro is not in position to actually help here. SF's not in position to help. Primal
So
can kind of
even though the your person's got on him, should they not just not go on him, even though the rest of his team's not there, and you don't know where the enemy's team is?
What's the question?
So do you know how the Grimstroke's going on him?
Mm-hmm.
He's used Inkswell. Should he just save that normally?
Well, it's a little bit tough with Inkswell in particular because Grimstroke can use this as a save or as an initiation. So he can just throw it on the Riki just in case.
Yeah.
And probably that's actually why this is happening, is because they spot him on here. Riki says, oh, we could kill them because we have Aegis. And he's like, okay, fine. Non-committal spell. I throw Inkswell on you. But now this is just starting another fight. And see, Gyro is not thinking that another fight is going to happen right now. He's just chilling.
Okay.
You know, kind of. I don't think these three heroes were expecting to have another fight, and these two heroes kind of started one, maybe on accident. This can happen with Grimstroke, where he puts Inkswell on you, and the other person's like, "What does that mean? Does that mean I go? Do I run? What do I do with it?" Right? So then Riki's like, "Okay, fine, let's start the fight." And now at this point, it's 24 minutes in the game. You kind of actually have to fight because the fight started. But now they're clearly not prepared for it, so they're moving through the trees. And boom, huge Mars ult. So like so like because there was no prep going into this play at all, and because they had no information, they're getting 3-man Mars ulted with their gyro sitting outside. Just not in range to do anything, right? They win the fight, but it's definitely not great. I don't know. It's rough, right? I would call this kind of a trade. I mean, it's 2 for 3. They didn't lose the fight, quote unquote, but they could have gotten a much cleaner fight. But okay, here again. So this is a good example. So, okay, we just killed the enemy team. Invoker is showing middle. So SF's like, cool, I push tower. What does Ricky do? He doesn't need to help with this. He's going to go do something else. And Gyro is... doesn't need to help either. He's gonna go take the time to like run up here and grab this Watcher. And so watch the Gyro moving in relation to the SF. So I'm gonna sit near him. Okay, they're still not contesting, so we clear their thing real quick. Okay, they glyphed. Grab this. He's playing out of vision as well. He's in range to help, but he's not committing, right? He's playing back and he's waiting. And now, cool. So here's another example of this all happening and people thinking about it. So the Grimstroke is dead right now. Let's watch it from his perspective, see what Grimstroke's thinking about. Because what they're looking at tells you what they're thinking about. This is Grimstroke's camera. Checking Invoker. Okay, how's this push going? He's also watching this because he's trying to decide if he needs to show up here. Like, oh, is an enemy hero TPing here? Do I need to TP and run there as fast as I can?
Yeah.
No, looks fine. Okay, I TP mid. Far mid. And why is this okay? Because he can't actually TP here to help anyway. There's not really anything to do top, and there's a catapult mid. So this is going to be, even though it's not immediately important right now, this is the next most important thing. Because if he doesn't touch this, this catapult's going to hit his tower.
Okay.
So he's thinking ahead to be like, okay, that's the next thing that's relevant. I'll TP here and go clear this up. And then probably, based on what this looks like, if they look like they're under threat, he'll walk this direction. If they don't look like that, he's probably going to walk up, I would guess. Or he'll walk to do a camp or something. But let's see what he does with it. Primal TP to an empty lane. He's a core, but he TP'd to the other lane that was empty. Yeah, they're fighting over farm a little bit. Whatever. But now, because Ricky is moving like this, he's moving with Ricky. Right?
Okay. So Ricky's trying to set something up.
It's more that he's moving to support the Ricky if Ricky needs him. But other than that, he's actually just kind of roaming and getting vision and stuff down. Okay. He's watching what the enemy is doing and keeping tabs on them, checking their items. But see, like, he's moved up here, placed a ward, and it's like he's still playing off map. He's not showing in lanes. But he's nearby his team. He can help them right now if they need help. But he's not forcing it. He's not clicking on the tower, you know?
Okay.
And this is exactly the type of thing I was talking about. Like, when there's nothing to do, farm. Like, there's nothing directly to do right now, I sit nearby and I farm.
Okay.
You know, and just like right here, big fight's happening. Well, what's the next thing they're going to have to do? Look at the map.
They're gonna have to. He's gonna commit to saving his player.
No, look at the mini map. No, look on the mini map. What's the next thing that has to be done?
Protect bottom.
Yep, exactly. We can assume mid is okay because there's an illusion there, but bottom has no creeps in it, and we see Invoker's creeps, so he's pushing this. So the next thing that's going to have to be done by someone is to relieve pressure off this tower and get this lane pushing again. Because the lanes pushing govern what you can do, right? They tell you where the enemy heroes are, because the enemy heroes don't want to get damage on their towers for free, and they want to get farm as well. So they tell you the positioning of the enemy team, and they set up tower pushes and team fights. So, we can't effectively fight in this area unless we have like a follow-up. Like we're never going to take a team fight in this area. Why? Because there's no creeps here. So it doesn't result in anything if we win the fight. We don't get this tower. This needs to be pushed up to make this team fight relevant. Alright, so let's speed through the fight, because the fight's not really relevant.
Okay.
In this stage of the game, it is just 5-man Dota, right? But it's what happens in between the 5-mans that kind of dictates, like, where you are.
Okay.
Alright, and let's have a look at this. They are immediately splitting up. See this? I'd say this TP from SF is actually a little bit risky, because he TP'd like right here, and they could have like maybe stopped his TP or something. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So the thing that you said, right? The next thing is bot lane. Look where SF went. First place he went. TP right here. Let's get this lane going. And then because that illusion in middle from Ricky was pushing this up, now that's created this. So the next place you're going to see an enemy hero is probably mid.
Okay. You have to like think what your team's going to do next.
It's what your team's going to do next, what the enemy team is going to do, and also what needs to be done so that we can move to the next step. So the next step, SF has cleared bot lane. Top lane we don't have to worry about, so now we're moving to mid. And the supports have to modulate a little bit what they're doing in reference to what the cores are doing. So like this Grimstroke cannot just walk into an area by himself. He has to have teammates with him, and he needs to help the teammates. So wherever Ricky, Primal Beast, and SF want to go, that's kind of where the supports need to go help. So once this fight is done, what do you think the next thing is? Kind of depends on how this fight goes, right? So like if they win the fight, maybe we can push a tower, but maybe we're too weak and we actually have to do a full reset. Because this fight's going on too long, it's taking too many resources. You can actually see right here, it's like Grimstroke's low, that's why he's not sticking around. But he's also, he's willing to walk away from a fight that he knows that he can't help in anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he tried to help. Okay, this looks terrible. Alright, I'm out of mana. I'm fucking out. He's just done. Like, at this point, he doesn't care anymore what happens. Because he can't change it. He has no mana. He doesn't do anything in this fight. So this is on you guys now. I'm going back to reset. This is another problem that like low-ranked players have, is they don't know like when to just leave. Like, because they're, just think about it. Like, I have no spells. I can't do anything. Leave, right? So so then regardless of that, what would be the next thing they need to do, looking at the map again?
Just like all reset and then maybe head towards top again, because it's going to come back.
Well, the resetting part is correct, but what's the more immediate lane? Which lane is the most immediate?
Like, it looks like bot, but I think they already sent that back, so it's going the other way, right?
Right. But thank you for the raid, Quixotics. That's awesome, man. Hope your stream was good, Zach. Sorry, say that again. I had a brain fart.
No problem. I think bot's going the other way.
Yeah.
Mid's coming to you and top's coming to you, I think.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about mid tower, because I mean it's already under their tower. Top's weird. It's a potential objective because the racks are open, but like there's no tier 2 tower to take. So we would only go to top if we were gonna like immediately push the racks, right? Okay. So the next most immediate thing is bot lane. It's the lane that's closest to us. So we're gonna reset from this fight, and then we're gonna run down here and get this pushed again. Because like the ideal, what we want is all 3 lanes to be pushed into them at all times, right?
Okay.
Then we have 100% information and we get 100% of the map because they don't want to walk past creep waves to go in the jungle. We get all the jungle. That make sense?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so let's see. We can just skip this fight because it's not relevant anymore. We just want to see what happens during the reset. All right, he's resetting. This guy's resetting. He's kind of lingering because he's still a little bit ready to fight. You can actually see up here, Invoker's already like done with this.
Yeah.
He's not showing up to this again. He's like, okay, let's go clear top. Because for the enemy team, that's their most immediate objective, right? Like you already have heroes in mid. They don't need to come down here. That's not a threat to them. This is the biggest threat to them because if this gets pushed, then the racks are open. So Invoker is clearing the most immediate objective.
Okay.
So full reset. Hey, look where Grimstroke's going. He's going bottom. And this is where pickoffs can happen. Like if you notice, they just pinged the Invoker. You can go back real quick. You can kind of see it for a second. Look at the minimap. Boom. Grimstroke just pinged out that Invoker is solo. And this is why it's really hard to play against heroes like Spirit Breaker, Legion Commander, Riki, Nyx, stuff like that. Because somebody has to go do this, but that creates an opportunity to go kill them. So like Riki's like, ooh, gotta go kill the Invoker now. And it's the same thing for the the Grimstroke. Like if they had heroes like that or they were in the position, they'd be like, oh, maybe we can go pick off this solo Grimstroke because he had to go fix this lane on his own.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And this is sort of like where I think like this exact instance is kind of exemplifies like a lot of issues that you're going to run into like in your bracket. So like know this wave needs to be pushed, right? So you're going to go do that. Yeah. Your team is looking like they're still pressuring in mid without you. And so this is where you can be like, oh, do I need to run over there and help them, or am I doing the right thing, or are they doing the right thing? Which one is it?
Yeah.
This is like where team play comes in. Like this needs to be done. They need to judge if they actually need you here or not, and if they decide like we're actually not under threat because Treant and Lesh is dead, I don't think they're going to fight into us, then we're not actually taking a risk here. So it's fine, right? We're just being greedy. We're doing 2 things at once instead of the one because we can. Right? So we can see if they get punished or not for it. But I mean, let's look at the map again. Where do you think Primal Beast wants to go next once he respawns?
Halfy's team mid.
Let's look at the lanes. Where are the lanes?
Maybe top and then mid.
Right. So top is the next most immediate thing. This is only an objective because Invoker just did that. He went to the most immediate lane, pushed it, and now somebody has to respond to this because until this is pushed out, we can't do anything in this lane, right?
Yeah.
So someone wants to come here. Maybe Primal Beast doesn't want to be bothered with that. Maybe he wants to go do something else. But really, ideally, someone comes here and does that. It's probably going to be the Primal because he can't connect to his team quickly because you don't have it. He has nowhere to TP to. Unless he had bots, he has no way to get here quickly. So he may as well do this second best option and go clear this. And by the way, guys, am I getting dropped frames a lot? Is the stream kind of laggy? Because like it keeps telling me I'm getting drop frames and I have no idea why. And it's very annoying. Anybody in the chat? Also, what's up, Radu? Is this League of Legends Season 14? No. This is Dota 2. It seems fine? Okay, thanks, man. Let me know if it starts, like, screwing up a lot. Because, yeah, definitely need to, like, not have it look like junk. Okay. Resetting. Okay, SF did it first. SF went to the next most immediate thing. And then Grimstroke's not going to stick around forever. He just got this to be, like, a double wave pushing, right? So he doesn't want to just keep going until he dies. So now he's resetting again.
Okay.
Do you see how it's this constant ebb and flow? It's just like, okay, I have to go do this. Okay, go back to what I want to do. Maybe that's grouping up. It's just kind of like split up, group up, split up, group up, over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. In theory, the best way, like the best game ever would be one where all 5 of you get to play solo the entire time and get giga farmed, right? But that just doesn't work because you have to team fight at times. because the enemy team forces you. So you have to group up in between that. Okay, Lifestealer's going to respond to that. You kind of getting the picture here? Do you want to keep going with this example?
Yeah, I get it. I think I get it. So you always have to just go to something what's the most immediate threat,
Yes, exactly.
or get someone to go there if you can't go there.
Exactly. That's it. Got it. And it's more of a problem, or it's more of a thing for supports, because supports are a little bit more selfless. Like, they're going to do what the team needs versus like if you're, you know, I don't know,
Harry,
an SF or a Ricky or maybe a life stealer is obviously the carry on the enemy team, right? So he's going to go where it's best for him, and what's best for the team is an afterthought, because his contribution to the team is getting fed, so he can 1v5 the enemy team, right? So he needs to be prioritizing that. It's actually his job to make sure he's having a good game. And then as you go down, you weight the team decisions more than your own decisions, like more and more and more. So position 5 has to be completely selfless and just go do whatever needs to be done right now. What kind of vape is that? It is a MIG vapor. It's not weed. Okay, so down they're splitting the map right now.
Yeah.
Okay, they're looking to group. All right, so what's the mistake here? Like, why did this Grimstroke die?
He got caught out because he was pushing the lane and he showed on the lane for too long.
So he actually didn't show on the lane at all.
Oh.
He was dewarding. They caught him on the ward, right? And then, this is the actual mistake. So he went to deward, and then he walked into the lane.
Okay. So he should have dewarded and went away.
Yeah, basically, because this happens because he's not considering, like, where the enemy team wants to go and what information they have. So, like, I die like this sometimes, where I go deward and immediately die straight after I deward.
Yeah.
But he needs to be thinking about this, because if you watch the map, like, while he's been in this area, it's not wrong to be in this area. This is fine, right? But, like, look at how much information the enemy team has while he's doing this. And you can interpret this just based on, like, what you can see on the map. So the enemy team sees SF. They know Roche is coming up. Okay. They see 2 heroes top. So they've seen 3 heroes top, and they've seen this Grimstroke bottom, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, these heroes wouldn't show here. It's unfortunate that Grimstroke got caught by a ward that barely saw him, right? But if you extrapolate this to, like, if he'd been in the lane while they're showing top, then you're giving the enemy team information like, look, I'm alone. There's 3 heroes top and I'm down here, right? So you have to be careful about the information you're giving, because the enemy team's coordinated and they'll run straight out.
Could they think that someone else is with him, like, sneakily?
Yeah, I mean, they could try and predict that, but they don't know. They don't know where Primal Beast is. They haven't seen Primal Beast, right?
Yeah.
All they know is that we saw Ricky, Gyro, and SF all top. What the hell? The replay just closed? Oh, wait, no, it was a live game. Damn, okay. Anyway, okay, so I guess that one's done. I don't even know how to, like, get back to that one. Yeah, that was a live game. We can go back. Let's look at Pugna watching Seb. We'll take a different game example, because this is relevant in every game.
Okay.
Sad, Ratty, whenever you tried vapes, you just got turned away with a chemical taste. They can't compare to actual tobacco taste-wise. Oh, dude, I hate cigarettes now. Can't stand them. Okay, this is super early in the game, so this one's not really helpful. Here, let's go back. Let's look at one of your games, actually. Did you have another one of these games where, like, the whole split farming thing was coming up?
Maybe like the Ogre Magi.
Sure, okay. Let's look at that one. I realize the session has gone on for a while, so if you have to go to bed, that's all good. Just let me know.
Okay.
So we'll look for opportunities where, like, you could have gone off by yourself, you know?
Okay.
So we're gonna try to skip mostly the lane phase, because that's not what we're thinking about. Put it on you. What's going on here? Let me put it on both teams. This is kind of roaming period. Like we're past catapults, wisdom runes are coming up, right? Or have already come up.
Yeah.
The little thing right here, you know, there's nothing to do. You could pull right now because you see this is pulling, this is pushing up. You could pull this. Or if there's no pull camp to do, you can go down here and make stacks. Right. Keep that going. Actually watch it for much faster vision. It's kind of this is very much more like a mid-game thing. And like you're not gonna hit the mid-game that early based on what bracket you're in, right? Skip way ahead actually. Find a relevant location. Okay, this is perfect. Alright, so you and Doom are respawning. PL is up here doing PL things. Two heroes are pressuring mid. One of them has a DD. And Sniper's farming right here. Let me put it on just Radiant Fog. Alright, so when you respawn here, you have two relevant objectives at once, right? So you have to decide if the PL is under significant threat or if you can actually save this tower.
Okay.
Like you're either gonna like, well, you can't TP to top because the top tower is gone. So that kind of answers the question for you, right? Can't even TP here, so probably gonna TP mid. But given that it's a mid Wind Ranger with DD and a CM backing her up, and this tower is almost dead anyway, you can't actually save this tower reliably unless you're gonna like glyph and multiple teammates are gonna come in and help you, right?
Yeah.
So this would be a probably I just walk situation. Because if I TP in, maybe they like combo me and I die, right? So I probably just walk to mid here. Okay, let's tier 2. TP to the tier 2, and you're walking down here. This is where you're autopiloting, and you're just kind of like, you want to go back to the same lane over and over again, right?
Yeah. Oh, she's bad.
Sometimes it's okay, but it's like in this instance it's kind of nice because you're pushing a catapult into their tower, but this is playing kind of like a core.
Okay.
That's really it, because in the time that you were doing this, they pushed down to tier 2, so like look at what's going on with the enemy team, right? Kind of pressure mid a little bit. Okay, they're killing your Invoker, and they're turning that into a tower push. And a tier 2 is always more valuable than a tier 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's like, we want to be here for these things, we want to be helping out with this. Now we're here, and now we're helping. But it's just a little bit too late, right? Kind of want to be here ahead of time. But that's fine. I mean, you did eventually rotate. That's okay. Okay, there's still pressure, so you have to go help that. So, like, let's say, just as an example, so let's do this exercise again. Let's pretend that Invoker was not sitting in mid lane with half health and no mana and getting killed right now. So, like, where would be the next place you would want to go?
Bottom.
Why is that?
Because they're pushing it in, and we want to defend our tier 2.
Right? And also, you don't have any heroes in the area, so you're not stealing farm from anybody. So you can go down here and you can catch this wave, exactly. But this is more relevant. Invoker's getting pressured, so we go run and maybe help Invoker. Okay, he's gone. So now the situation changes, right? So now they're pressuring middle. Bottom is still an objective. Someone's gonna have to deal with this at some point. You kind of have to stick around now because multiple heroes are grouped around. You can't walk away from this. As a support, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good because eventually this team fight's going to end. And then we'll get to see what to do next. It's like so much going on at once.
Dire's top tower is under
So this is a little bit of like the type of thing that'll happen in your bracket, right? So you remember what I was talking about? Like if Magnus went and let's say the Magnus like didn't have his ult and just decided to dive the Windrunner, right?
Yeah.
This is an example of your team doing that type of thing. So Lich is half health, half mana, and does not have his ult, right?
Yeah.
So what should your teammates be doing right now, these two guys?
Backing away.
And then doing what in the meantime?
Going farming, or and then others can go to base.
Yeah, basically, like maybe the Lich wants to send himself mana regen or just run back to base to get mana. He wants to reset. The Invoker should probably be like farming a camp or something, right? Maybe someone could be walking down here and doing this. Because your team is respawning, like, okay, we can assume maybe Doom will TP here and PL will TP here, so we don't need to walk super far, but we don't need to be pushing the tower. Like, we can just be farming the camps that are nearby. You got a bunch of camps nearby, these guys could just be farming that. But instead, what they're doing, and this is what makes it really hard to play in this bracket, is immediately starting another thing, right? Just by being in this area, they're starting another fight. They don't realize they're doing it, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, Lich just wanted a ward, right? He keeps trying to walk away. It doesn't look like he actually wants to fight, but like, that's what happens. And then the Doom is also walking here when he doesn't need to. So you're doing the correct thing, and PL's doing the correct thing. Split up and farm. Okay, good, cool. Get it, Invoker went to the empty lane. It's a bit weird, but... And then here, this is another thing, so you can look for not only what's happening right now, but what's about to happen. So look at the mini-map and observe the movements, right? So
yeah,
CM
Team just got killed.
Well, yeah, but how could you have predicted that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the clue that something's going to happen there in a minute?
That they're all missing.
No, they're not all missing. You see two of them. But look at your team as well. What is your team doing?
Split up.
Okay, what's... I think I need to play it so you can see it. Okay, so watch the PL on the mini-map. Playing 1x speed. The PL's moving towards the enemy team right now.
Yeah.
And you and him have a pincer on the CM. That's why this happened.
Oh.
So this is a perfect example where, like, if you looked to connect with PL right here and you two pincer on the two, like, you have a sentry. You could prevent this Glimmer Cape and you could get the kill on this. You'd get the kill for your PL right here. You know, or if you're paying attention to when she bought the Glimmer Cape, you had the dust ahead of time, right? Be like, oh, okay, cool. CM dies. She's out of position and my core is running at her, right? So just pincer.
Okay.
So it's watching the movements. Like, it's not just watching the enemy team, it's watching what your team's doing too.
But wouldn't the sniper, like, go shoot me?
Yeah, but I mean, that's your job. Your job is to, like, get in there and help this PL get this kill and try to not die at the same time. Right, you're decently tanky. I don't think the sniper is going to kill you from low ground through these trees. Right, he can't chase you effectively. If you just walk this way, he can't effectively chase you. He's got a big wall in his way. So we could have helped with this, but we didn't. We're still just farming. Okay, farming good too. Okay, next thing. What's going to happen right now? Look at the positioning. Invoker just ran straight next to the enemy team, right? Next fight that's going to happen is going to be right here, because that's where the heroes are closest together.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Now, what do you think your team should do at this stage right here? So you just killed CM.
Yeah.
A bit early. We see Windrunner bottom, but I mean, do you guys feel like you're super duper strong right now?
I think I was pinging to go Torment.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a viable objective. What else could you guys do right now?
Smoke up and gank.
I mean, yeah, you could. But because you don't have a lot of information, all you have is this Windrunner, and she's quite far away. It's kind of not, like, the best. The other problem is that your cores don't gank well. So, you know, a PL Doom with no blink, like it's actually hard for you guys to catch a Windrunner and kill her. You need blinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So ganking is not super great. Do you think you're strong enough to go push the tower right now?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not a solid yes, right? So that's the other thing
Yeah.
too. So like you can just like if the answer is not like yes, absolutely, then it's actually kind of a gamble, and then you don't really need to do it. So I like your idea about the Tormentor. I think that's really good. You can also just farm. That farming is doing something. Like you guys are 5-man in the middle of the map right now with all the camps alive. Like
Okay.
what should be happening is everyone splits up and farms. And then when everything is farmed, then we can look to do something.
Okay.
And what's going to naturally happen in low bracket stuff is whenever people group up, they just walk down a lane and then a team fight starts. So we're going to end up pushing because the sniper walked into the river. But sniper kind of giving you that one. And that's kind of why, you know, you weren't 100% that your team was actually strong enough to push a tower, and then you were right. You guys wiped.
Yeah.
so you got to trust your gut on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that was a lot, but I mean, let's take some notes on here. So what did we learn from all this? Just try and recite back as much as you can from it. Let's start with the biggest things. What were the big things we learned?
If it's important, like the first thing to do, like to defend the tower over like just TPing to a lane.
So like TPing because it's important.
Yeah.
Right. Time between. Right.
If there's nothing to technically, if you're not sure of something to technically do, you can just farm.
Yep. Yep. If there's nothing to do, it's okay to just farm, right? Okay.
Yeah. If the like you see like the one on the map and you don't see the other ones, it's like if you like your team's like 3 of them showing and you show like end up showing bot or you D like reward, they're probably coming to kill you.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because they know you split up.
Yeah. So if you're isolated and your team is showing in multiple places, start playing safe, right? Because now someone on your team is now the target because you guys are advertising that you're split up. With that specific example with the Grimstroke, he got a little unlucky because he was only spotted by a ward. The mistake there was that he was spotted by a ward, he knew he was spotted by a ward, and then he walked into the lane, right?
Yeah.
He should have just backed away. But okay, so that makes sense.
If an objective's getting like pushed by the enemy, try defend it. Like come back to defend it.
Yeah, sure. That's simple. That's just defend objectives, right? If you can.
Yeah.
If it looks like you actually can. So like with that example where CM and Windrunner were pushing mid, didn't look like you could actually defend that. So don't waste your time, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If possible. Okay, what else?
If you like your teammates like farming, to let them have it, but if they're not farming it, you can have it.
Yep. Don't steal farm from cores. Otherwise, go ahead and farm. Yep. Anything else? How about pushing lanes? We spent a lot of time just talking about pushing lanes, right? And using that.
If you don't think you can push the lane, don't. Like, if you can do it, if there's like you've got an advantage, or like you've set up for it, but if you've got no mana or anything like spells, just go back and reset.
Right. So that would be don't force objectives or team fights if you're not fully prepared yet. And that would be, I don't have my spells, I don't have my mana, I'm very close to an item. Any of those things, no reason to force it yet, right?
Okay.
So we saw a lot of examples of that. And one thing that I spent a lot of time on, so that was like looking at the lanes and using that to read what's going to happen or what the next steps will be. So what was the takeaway from that?
What the next steps are going to be. Like if,
Kind of just answered it, didn't I?
yeah.
Okay. So how would you put that in your words? Like, let's say you had to explain that whole point to somebody else that had never heard it before. Like, how would you word it?
Think what you need to do next when you do something.
Mm-hmm. And how do you inform that decision?
Depending on where people are and like if the lane's pushing into you.
Yeah, right. Okay. So try to predict what will happen next.
It's like if you said if you've got all the lanes pushed out, you have all the vision.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's why it's important to be constantly pushing lanes. I'm just going to put that in there. So try to keep lanes pushed. That's like a mid game thing, right? In the lane phase, we don't want to push the lane because then we're close to the tower and then we might die, right? But in the mid game, in the late game, we want all the lanes to be pushed into them all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Ideally. Okay, cool. Anything else? Any other takeaways?
How
about, if you can remember, how about the actual lane phase stuff? Like how long we should be staying in the lane and when we should think about roaming and things like that.
If I get boots, I should think about roaming if he's safe and to like do so. Mm-hmm. If it's by my tower, mm-hmm. and he's got farm, and like I can just go away to some other lane.
Yeah, basically. So the condition is that the core is safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if core is safe, try roaming. It's that simple. It's just like see if there's an opportunity. Don't force it, but like, you know, if it looks like he's totally chill, he's just hitting creeps, you know, look around the map, right? And see, oh, maybe I can go top, maybe I can go mid. Just look for it. You don't have to do it, but just be ready to go try it out, right? And the part about the boots was what we said last time, is buy boots when you're ready to start roaming. The boots make that more efficient because everything you're doing takes less time. You can go roam and get back to lane quicker, whatever. You can chase people. So it's not, you're not roaming because you bought boots. You're trying to buy the boots when you're ready to start roaming. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
I think that's
pretty good. Your brain mush now? Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just keep the same homework from last time.
Okay.
So it's gonna be the same thing. So like in the mid game, look to pick up those empty lanes. Look to push lanes, you know, that no one else is doing, and think about like if someone is gonna do it or if it's actually not worth doing. But just try doing it more. Like look for any opportunity to do that, and we'll focus on that again.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty, man. Well, if there's nothing else, we can call it there.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one, and we'll plan on next week, same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, for sure.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thanks, man.
See you later. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
All right, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to check out the playlist at the end of the video with my other Dota coaching videos, and I hope to see you in another one. Bye.